Sports Talk with Elite Wagers.
Yo, what's happening everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk of Elite Wagers. I am Elite Wagers and this is the Club World Cup Tournament final breakdown. Obviously I've done every group individually over the past couple of days from A to H. You can go back and listen to those on my YouTube or Spotify. They're all posted all over my Twitter as well. If you click on my profile and click on my highlights, they will be there listed from H to A. You can go back and listen to those if you want individual breakdowns, or if you want to have a sort of a quicker full breakdown, continue listening. But the first thing I'm going to do is announce the giveaway winners for this contest here. I'm giving away 3 free entries to the fantasy contest over on FanTeam for the £15,000 prize pool. I've got the number generator here. Obviously I'll refresh that now, and we'll get that again here. Random generator here. Okay, and we'll do that. Okay, and we'll put the 69 entries. So we'll get that 69 times. So the first winning number is 28. The second is 12, and the third is 69. Right, let's go back onto the tweet. Let's go through the comments. Obviously, everyone's comments. So 20. So we'll do 12 first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not comments. 7, 8. He didn't enter. 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got Mika Latti is the first winner. So let me write that down. Mika Latti. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So you are the first winner. The second is 28. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So Barney Fantasy is the next winner. And then the final winner is the last number actually. So we can go right to the bottom. And the last winner is there. There you go. Ambambulis is the final winner. Let me write that down. There you go. So there's the 3 winners. So you got Ambambulis, hope I'm saying that right, Barney Fantasy, and Mika Latti are the 3 winners. So if you can all drop in my DMs with your FanTeam ID, so I can get those 3 free tickets entered into your accounts. And then you can obviously make your teams for the £15,000 Club World Championship contest over on FanTeam. I do highly recommend you stick around. I'm going to be going through the fantasy contest as a whole, and I'm going to be breaking down sort of my favourite strategies and how I like to play the game and how I like to go about things and things like that. Stick around and I'll go through those. So first things first, I want to go through a few strategies that I like to go by when I pick my teams and things like that. Obviously, with it being a big tournament, it's actually a similar format to the World Cup. So top 2 from each group progress. Obviously, we've got the groups here. While that loads, I'll continue. So the contest is going to be played for the full entirety of the tournament. 85 million budget. Safety net feature is active, so if you choose a player that doesn't start, he will be replaced by the player that starts ahead of them, essentially in the same team for less budget, or the same or the less budget. And then the maximum you can pick is 4 players from each team. I'm not sure why this isn't loading. Oh, there you go. So the groups obviously are as follows. Group A is Palmeiras, Porto, Al Ahly and Inter Milan, so the top 2 will progress. In my opinion, it's going to be these top 2, Palmeiras and Porto. PSG, Atletico, Botafogo and Seattle Sounders, again the top 2 in my opinion. Bayern Munich, Auckland FC, Boca Juniors, Benfica, in my opinion, Benfica and Bayern Munich. Flamengo, ES Tunis, Chelsea and LAFC. I think Flamengo and Chelsea. River Plate, Urawa Red Diamonds, Monterrey, Inter Milan. I think Inter Milan and River Plate will go through in that one. Fluminense, Borussia Dortmund, Ulsan and Mamelodi. I think it's going to be the top 2 again. Man City, Wydad, Allianz and Juventus. I think Man City and Juventus. And then the final group, Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Pachuca and FC Salzburg. Again, I think the top 2, Real Madrid and Al Hilal, will go through. So a few strategies I like to go through when picking my teams. Ideally, you want to pick the mismatches between the groups. So you got Real Madrid when they play Pachuca, that's going to be a mismatch. Man City against Wydad, mismatch. Borussia Dortmund against Ulsan, mismatch. You want to identify those games as your mismatching games. So basically, a top European team against sort of a significantly lower ranked team. For instance, obviously Man City being a top 10 team and Wydad being ranked around 400 in the world. So the mismatch games are fairly self-explanatory. A top team against a bottom team. So once you identify the lesser teams, in my opinion, you don't want to be picking any of those for your defense. So you're not going to pick any of the Al Ahly defenders when they play Inter Miami and they play who else was in there? Porto or Palmeiras. Any of those teams are going to score against Al Ahly. You're going to be losing points on lack of clean sheets. So you want to be picking some top defenders here rather than the lesser teams. For your value picks, obviously they are going to be somewhat from a lesser team, but for those you want to be picking someone that's in the forward or the midfield position. Again, prime example, Abu Ali, 5.5 million. He's a well-known figure for Qatar, and he's their top goal scorer. So you're not going to lose too many points on him if he doesn't score. Obviously, he's priced low. But essentially, the value picks are going to be what wins you this tournament. They're going to be crucial, so finding those gems could win the tournament and obviously allow for those more expensive players like Haaland, Mbappe, Kane, Dembele, and etc. But again, those high-priced players, you want to be picking them very, very wisely. Obviously, they take up a huge budget. You don't want to be picking Haaland, Mbappe, and Kane in your team. That's taken up almost half of the budget just on 3 players. Consistently check lineups before games. Obviously, there's a lot of injuries. A lot of players not expected to start. Injuries to Dembele and Barcola for PSG, for example, will allow sort of Doué and Cancelo Ramos playing time, but again, they could be fit by the time of the first game. So keep an eye on those kind of things. And then the final point, the winners of this tournament will win a share of 100 million. So obviously expect the top teams to treat this with respect and try and win. Another added thing to this, obviously, that leans in the favour of these top teams trying. Real Madrid just paid 10 million to get Trent in their colours ready for this tournament. Obviously, he's coming on a free anyway in July. They wanted him for the start of this tournament. Obviously, if that doesn't scream, we want to win this tournament, then I don't know what does. So teams like that, they're doing everything. Man City again as well. They've got 4 new signings in time for the Club World Cup. So I fully expect these kind of teams to try their hardest to win this tournament. Moving on to the actual selection of the players, I'm going to go down in group. I like to go down in these group orders. So goalkeeper, defenders, midfielders, and strikers final. What I aim to do is for the goalkeeper and the defenders, so these as a whole, I like to pick 3 defenders and obviously your goalkeeper. So these 4 players here don't want to be a lot of your budget, but they are priced lower anyway, but they don't want to be the majority of your budget. Obviously, over the course of the week, I've mentioned a lot of players that could slot into any of these positions. Starting with the goalkeepers, I've mentioned Edison and Ortega. They've been very, very solid players for Man City this year. They've been able to keep a lot of clean sheets between the two of them. I'm just trying to find where they are on my list. Man City, they're right. Man City. They have a combined 14 clean sheets this season, and they've actually got 6 clean sheets in the last 10 games, and they conceded 5. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of an unknown who starts. Edison is expected to start. If you pick Edison, you get Ortega anyway, if Ortega does start. So that's not too much of a worry. So yeah, they're solid keepers. Obviously, I mentioned Oblak, who's one of the best in the game. Obviously plays a very difficult first game against PSG. But again, he's a solid goalkeeper who actually has the most saves in the league for Atletico Madrid and in the La Liga. A solid amount of clean sheets as well for him. But in terms of two players that are value players, and they are very, very good for their particular teams. One of those is going to be Benfica, Trubin, and he is probably one of the best picks in the group stages, in my opinion. Obviously, again, I want to be able to pick players that are potentially going to make the full tournament. I want to pick some players that are going to make potentially reach the final, not just the group stage. But obviously, Benfica, in my opinion, should make it out of the group. Trubin is one of those very, very good goalkeepers in great form. 16 clean sheets in 44 starts, 104 saves with 40 goals conceded. He faced 40 shots on target in the last 10 games and saved 30. He does play 2 lower ranked teams within this tournament. He'll play Auckland and he'll play Boca Juniors. Obviously Bayern Munich too. But he's a very, very informed goalkeeper at the moment. And then another goalkeeper that I'm really liking is this guy right here, Rossi, and he's gonna go straight into my team, basically down to the first team that they play, and that's going to be ES Tunis. He's in another goalkeeper in extremely good form. 8 clean sheets in the last 10 games, conceded only 3 goals, faced 27 shots on target and saved 23. He's actually been a really key player for Flamengo, and he's actually one of the reasons why they are as good as they are. This group's not filled with high-scoring teams, obviously LAFC, Chelsea, ES Tunis, so it could be an ideal group for defensive players and goalkeepers. So I think Rossi does have the better matchup than, say, Oblak and even Trubin, but I think Rossi will slot in there quite nicely. And then moving on to some defenders, there's obviously, I've mentioned a lot of defenders. Hakimi is one of those solid defenders that I mentioned. Jordi Alba is another one, but Jordi Alba is injured, so I'll scan over him. But obviously, like I said, Hakimi, one of the most expensive defenders on the board. He does play a difficult Atletico Madrid in the first game, but he's one of the best defenders in the world at the moment. Great attacking threat as well as a solid defender. 20 goal contributions in 44 starts with 12 clean sheets. That's a good stat there. So if you do want to pay a little bit of a premium for a defender, it's going to have to be for Hakimi. Moving down my list again, another one that I like in terms of a bit of value as well is Stanisic. Now, he could be outplayed by one of their new signings in Jonathan Tah. But Stanisic, solid defender, 4 clean sheets in the last 5 games. Obviously stepped in for a lot of injured players, but he's obviously cheaper valuation compared to other players in a similar position. Your Chalobahs, Vasquez, Ake. 8 out of the last 9 games he's played have been a full 90 minutes as well. So a good, upside for minutes played. But again, another guy who plays a lot of time for his team is Otamendi in Benfica. Otamendi played 45 games this season, and he's played 28 games with a full 90 minutes. 20 clean sheets in those 45 games as well, by the way. So he's another one of those solid contributors, and obviously 5 million. He's a very good player to be able to keep your budget low. Scanning down again, and I actually like a few Chelsea defenders. So back to the group actually with Flamengo and ES Tunis. And I'm going to be looking at two of these Chelsea defenders, so either Reece James or Cucurella. For me, it's going to be Cucurella. Reece James obviously struggled for a minute since his injury, but Cucurella is a solid attacking defender. He's been used a lot more consistently, and obviously his minutes are always around 90 minutes as well in league games. 7 contributions in the last 30 games this season, but he's a very, very attacking fullback. He is going to get a lot of opportunities within this group as well. And, Chelsea should win this kind of group comfortably. And again, like I said, for Rossi, not many teams within this group are high scoring. Moving down to another defender that I like, but again is on the high side, is Dumfries. He's a very attacking-minded wing-back. 16 contributions in 32 games, and obviously their attackers got a lot of injuries on their front line. It could allow for players like Dumfries to push forward more. But in my opinion, you don't want to be wasting 13 million on 2 defenders, so it's going to be Hakimi or Dumfries in my opinion. For me, Hakimi just snatches it a little bit. I did have Sergio Ramos written down as a value player as well, but he is injured, so I'll scan over him as well. But another guy that I really, really like for a bit of value, and it's performing really, really well actually as well, is Svensson. He is a winger, but he's classed as a defender because he plays wing back. But his wing back position has sort of been like around here, so he's basically playing as a winger, just as a fullback. He's been darting up and down this side a lot of the season. He's only played 12 games for Dortmund, but he does have 4 goal contributions, and those 4 contributions have come in the last 5 games. He shouldn't have too many issues defensively within this group. Quickly going back over to the Dortmund group, Fluminense, Ulsan and Mamelodi Sundowns, none of those 3 should really come near Dortmund within this group. So he should have a free sailing for clean sheets. And he's on corner duties as well. That gives an added boost for assist as well. And then moving down to the final group, and that's I'm gonna have 2 players within this final group, but unfortunately I don't think any are actually going to make my team. I'm going to go to Real Madrid for the first one, and it's going to be Garcia. And the reason I'm picking Garcia is he's the only sort of designated left back on the team. He has played a full 90 minutes in 14 of the last 22 games, so he should be a solid contributor on defense as well, in terms of minutes. And he's in a group where it shouldn't be too much of a threat for Real Madrid. So paying 6 million for him, is a little bit on the high side, but I don't mind it at all. And then another one I'm going for within this group is actually for Al Hilal. It's going to be Renan Lodi, a former Atletico Madrid player, played against Real Madrid a lot, very experienced, part of that Atletico Madrid winning team. 13 contributions in 33 games, and he's played 80 plus minutes in 12 of the last 18 games, and in those 18 games he got 7 clean sheets. So again, another solid defender on the cheaper side, but like I said before, you want to be picking 3 of these. So for me personally, I'm going to be picking, it's hard to cut one of these players here. For me personally, I'm going to go for these 3. I think Otamendi, Cucurella and Svensson are going to be solid contributors on defense in terms of clean sheets, and obviously these 2 like to get up and down the field a lot as well. So moving on to the midfield selections, and this is where it gets a little bit more juicy in terms of money and obviously prices. So Estavio is the first player. What have I done? Estavio is the first player that comes to mind when I think of sort of a young, upcoming, exciting player. He's obviously on his way to Chelsea after the tournament. He's priced a little bit higher than the average, but he's obviously got a favourable matchup. And obviously, if you look at his valuation of 8.5 million, he's actually sort of valued less than Messi, less than Kvaratskhelia. Both of those two have difficult groups. Barcola as well, difficult group. Those there have got difficult groups, and he's priced under those. He's got 8 contributions in the last 10 games, 12 contributions in 22 games, and obviously these are his final games for Palmeiras, so he could want to go out of a bang and help them get into the latter stages of this tournament. Obviously, honourable mention for Messi, 4 goals, 4 assists in the last 2 games. He has 5 Club World Cup goals in 5 Club World Cup games. So, if you want to pay a little bit of a premium, you could sort of swap him for Estavio, but I'm going to go for Estavio, out with the 2 anyway. My next midfielder is going to be a value pick, a value suggestion, if you like, and it's going to be for Seattle Sounders, which sounds a little bit weird. It's going to be Rusnik. He's in really good form, and obviously, like I said before, these value picks are going to be key in your teams, making it to the end. 10 contributions in 10 starts this season, 5 in the last 5, 26 in 28 games last season. And he does like to shoot as well. He has 34 shots in 10 games with 15 on target, and he converts those at 46% as well, which is very, very good. So he's on all forms of set pieces as well, penalties, free kicks, and corners. So he's got a higher upside in potential assists as well. One guy who is definitely getting in my team is going to be for Bayern Munich, and it's no surprise it's going to be Elise. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year. 17 goals, 19 assists in 42 starts, 127 shots with 44 on target, and obviously Bayern like to pepper the goal. This guy is going to be in and around those goals as well. Check my battery there. He's going to be in and around the goals, whether that's assisting or scoring. Where's my next midfielder coming from? My next midfielder, wow, it's far on the list. Another value pick as well. Obviously, again, value picks are going to be crucial. It's actually going to be for ES Tunis, and as I said before, it's going to be Balali, 6 million. Obviously, lower end of the budget per player. Most expensive player for Tunis. He's their best opportunity for goals. 33 appearances, 18 goals, 16 assists, 16 contributions in the last 23 games. Obviously, this group has been closely ranked. Most teams will get attacking opportunities, and obviously, Balali playing for the lesser team, he's got no sort of, no pressure, if you like. So he could be a good value option instead of Rusnik there if you want to save a little bit more of a budget. Now, this guy is in a lot of my teams. Where is it? Flamengo. D. Arrascaeta, 8 million. In my opinion, one of the best players from outside of Europe. 22 appearances, 11 goals, 5 assists. More recently, 11 contributions in the last 10 starts. He's the key part to Flamengo. Obviously, like I said, Rossi on defense is their top player. He is their top player on the attacking side of the ball. He's an ideal player to pick apart opposing defenses. And, again, if we look at the standings, where are they? Flamengo, they play Tunis, Chelsea, and LAFC. They have a very, very good chance of making it through from that group, and he's going to be crucial. Another one from that group, coincidentally, I actually have him listed down as a forward, but he's listed on the game as a midfielder, and that's Boanga, 7 million, another budget player. 48 goals and 14 assists in 84 regular season matches with LAFC. He won the MLS Golden Boot in 2023 with 20 goals, and then he scored another 20 goals in 2024. 10 contributions in 15 games this season, with 12 coming in the last 9 in all competitions. Again, not expecting too much from this team, LAFC, but he is a good value option, and he has, he's their best opportunity for goals as well. So he has a very high upside in terms of his goals to goals within that group. Another sort of key player for his team is Calhanoglu. 8 million on the value, on the average value per player. 19 contributions and 37 starts with 5 in the last 10 games. He's obviously a very, very good long-range shooter. He's a dead ball specialist. He's on all sorts of set pieces, corners, free kicks and penalties. So obviously again, added opportunity for goals from him. And then we move on to another young, exciting talent who has actually just signed for Real Madrid, and he plays for River Plate. His name is hard to pronounce. It's this guy here, Mastan Tuonu. 7 million. He's 17 years old and he was linked with Chelsea. He is signing for Real Madrid, but he is going after this tournament. His form is impressive. So he's got 19 games, 7 goals, 4 assists. Recently went on a 6-game run with a goal contribution in each game. He's had 8 in the last 10 games, 4 man of the match performances, and obviously this is going to be his farewell tournament, same as Estavio. So we'll slot him in here just for a second. So same as Estavio, leaving at the end of the tournament, so could have a huge impact on how they play and sort of saying goodbye within this tournament. A guy who is actually surprisingly priced higher than him is going to be a guy from Fluminense. His name is Arias. There he is, John Arias. As a team, they've scored 13 goals in the last 10 games. Arias has 6 contributions in those games. 27 chances created in the last 10. He's on all set pieces as well. He gives a higher chance of a goal or assist, but no attacker for Fluminense is in form at the moment. He is their most informed player, but unfortunately for me, he's not done enough to be able to get into my team. Moving down to another young, exciting player for Juventus, and that's Yildiz. Yildiz, he's average money, 8 million. I'm actually going to put him in. Let's put him in instead of Estavio for now. See what happens. I'm actually going to put him in. Highest rated player for Juventus. I don't mean highest valued, I mean highest rated. All season, he has had the highest rating on average out of any player who plays for Juventus. Why is he not in there? 13 contributions in 36 games. 5 in the last 7. But obviously Vlahovic and Milik are both out, so he will get a lot more opportunities on this wing down here. And then we're going to move on to the final group, and one of my favourite players within this whole competition, in terms of what he's been able to do for his team, Al Dawsari. 7 million, so right below average again. And he's a huge value pick for a good goal contributor for his team. 44 goal contributions in 48 games, 26 goals, 18 assists, 15 contributions in the last 10 games, and he won Saudi Best Player this year, and also set a single season record for most assists in a single season for the Saudi League with 15. He's been crucial to them scoring goals. Unfortunately, he plays Real Madrid in the first game, so I'm probably not going to pick him for the first week. I will put him in for game week 2 after they play Real Madrid. They've got 2 favourable matches after Real Madrid. But he is a very solid player, and another solid player within this group as well. For a similar reason, he's probably going to be left out due to having to play Real Madrid. But it is going to be Nene. 7 million. He's 22 years old, obviously one to watch. They've been known for producing really good attacking talent, so Haaland and Mane come out of their youth system. Nene is the next project for them. 21 contributions in 30 games, 13 goals, 8 assists, and 40% of goals for Salzburg come through Nene, and he's got 9 contributions in the last 10. him playing Batua first is a good thing for me. He could slot in there and be my value pick instead of Rusnak. Obviously playing the extra 0.5 million isn't too bad, and he's got a little bit more upside than Rusnak as well. And then moving on to the forwards, and obviously this is how I like to play. I like to play with my budget being sort of around the 30 mil. That will allow for potentially one of these top players here, and then you're moving on to some more players like this. So the first player that is going to be in my team in terms of the top, the highest priced players, is actually going to be Harry Kane. Harry Kane, where is he? There he is. One of the best strikers to grace the grass. He won the German Golden Boot in back-to-back years. 39 goals, 12 assists in 42 starts, 165 shots with 79 on target, which is obviously a solid return in terms of his goal to shot ratio. 9 contributions in the last 10 games. Obviously, he scored 2 goals for England over the weekend as well. He gives Bayern the best chance to win when he starts. He plays 2 lower ranked teams. So he plays Auckland and Auckland and Boca Juniors first. So 2 easier group games for him. And obviously, you could use this game as a confidence boost. He could score 5 against Auckland FC. Moving on to the next key forward for me within this tournament, and I think it is going to be Mbappe. As mentioned, where is he? Mbappe, where are you? Mbappe there. 42 goals, 4 assists in 48 games. He has an expected goal per 90 minutes at 0.8. 4.5 shots on target per game, 1.3 key passes per game as well. So he's always in and around the action for Real Madrid. He is their main focal point of offense. It runs through him. He's the best option for goals, and obviously he's proven that with his goal contributions. So he's probably well worth having that budget. But obviously picking Harry Kane and Mbappe leaves you with only 7 million, so you need a bit of a value kind of forward. But before we go into the value side, I'm going to take out Mbappe for a second, and I'm going to go with another guy who equally deserves a place in a team, and that is going to be Guirassy. Obvious choice from Bayern Munich, from Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, his group as well is very favourable towards him. I'm going to say you pay the premium for Guirassy as well. 10 million, I'd say, is a little bit undervalued for him. 40 contributions and 41 starts, 13 in the last 8 games with 7 straight goal contributions involvements in 7 games. He's instrumental to them being, a very successful attacking side. He shares penalty duties, but I can see him taking the ball for a lot of penalties if they get him within this tournament. Guirassy is one of those ones that you cannot overlook. And then another striker that I like for this tournament is going to be Julian Alvarez. Obviously, that puts me over the budget slightly. But Julian Alvarez is, another solid player within the whole tournament. 17 goals, 4 assists in the La Liga, 15 more contributions in the Champions League and the League Cup. So he has 42 contributions on the season, 10 contributions in the last 10 games, and obviously he's a solid goal threat. He looks to be their starter for Atletico. He's got 44 starts on the season, but like I said, the safety blanket does come into play. So if he doesn't start, but Sorloth does, you'll get Sorloth as well, who is also in very, very good form. But after PSG, he's got a favourable matchup. So although I believe they do go into the later stages of the tournament, I may leave him out for the first game, basically just down to him playing PSG or a solid defence, which now leads me to be able to pick some kinds of value options, if you like. And there's not too many value options, but one player that does fit into this team now, obviously with 9.5 million left, is Samu. Again, price slightly higher, but that's mainly due to the group that he's in, and obviously should progress from. He was third in the Portuguese Golden Boot race with 19 goals, 3 assists, 5 goals in the last 5 starts with 14 contributions in the last 22 games. He's a very young player. I think he's about 22 as well. But he's priced accordingly, obviously due to his group. I think he's a solid player, and he's definitely going to be a solid contributor towards goals for Porto. But another player who I like, maybe slightly more than Samu, is Pavlidis, and he's in really nice form this season. He was second in the Golden Boot behind Gyökeres, 19 goals, 7 assists, 27 goal contributions, 9 assists in 39 starts, 13 contributions in the last 10 starts for Benfica. He scored for Greece over the weekend as well. 113 shots, with 56 being on target, so a very good goal to shot ratio as well. He actually has a ton of opportunities, and he's priced at this price, obviously due to his group, but due to his good goal return and obviously high volume of attempts as well. I think he's going to be able to pepper the goal, and even at a front three like this, is going to be absolutely lethal. If you're looking for someone who's slightly more on the value side, I suggest you look towards. Let me just get him up. I suggest you look towards. Where is he? Just trying to find him on my list. Someone who is called Mitrovic. Obviously, I can't take him out. Mitrovic, 7 million. So if you want to juggle some of this budget around, Mitrovic is obviously a solid contributor for goals. 35 contributions in 33 starts, 11 in the last 10. 30% of goals come through Mitrovic for Al Hilal. So again, him playing Real Madrid in the first game doesn't help him really. But after game week 1, I would highly recommend adding in Mitrovic and Al-Dawsari for maybe Pavlidis and for Nene. But in terms of a team, I think I've just built a really, really strong team. Going off the fact that this defence only comes to 5, 10, 15, 20, 20.5 million, I think is very, very, very solid. Obviously, these two are going to be up and down the field all the time, could contribute towards assists, clean sheets for Rossi and for Otamendi, in my opinion. And then you obviously add in the playmaker in Diarra, who's going to be able to pick apart teams. Elise, who's an absolute machine in contributions, along with Nene and Yildiz as well, who are both, if you don't like obviously Yildiz, you've got 8.5 million for another type of midfielder. And obviously I've mentioned Calhanoglu or Estavio, who is in a little bit of good form. Who else did I mention? I mentioned Calhanoglu. There's tons of options that you can pick, and obviously you can go lower in price to Master Tuano, who I mentioned earlier as well, which will give you a little bit more budget for maybe another attacker, if you like. Al-Dawsari, if you want to take a gamble of him playing Real Madrid, or even Buanga. And that'll give you another 1.5 million out, which means you can get sort of Julian Alvarez or whoever up front as part of those premium sort of strikers. But yeah, in terms of the teams, it's going to be very difficult to be able to pick a solid team. Keeping these at a lower budget is vital, in my opinion. And then obviously finding some value players like these two further up the field that can contribute towards goals for their team and that can save budget for some solid attackers here. These two should feast within this tournament, as should Pavlidis as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I need to say. I've got a few questions for everyone that's going to be listening as well. Rather than everyone asking me the questions, I'm going to be asking you the questions, and the questions I'm going to be asking are, I want you to all to answer these in the comments as well. So if you listen to this, I really want you to comment your answers to these questions. So who is your tournament winner? Who's your favourite for the tournament winner? Who's your dark horse team within this tournament? Who do you think is going to win the Golden Boot? And who do you think is going to be the player of the tournament? Answer those 4 questions in the comments on Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple Music, whichever one you're listening to. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. So for my opinion, I think Bayern Munich will win. My dark horse team, I've got 2. I've got Atletico Madrid and a long shot bet in Al Hilal. And then my Golden Boot winner is going to be out of these 2 guys here, Harry Kane and Guirassy. And then my player of the tournament is, I've got 1 bet on Al Dawsari, and I've got another bet on Vitinha as well for PSG. So there's my 4 questions answered. So again, please comment who you think is going to be the tournament winner, the dark horse, Golden Boot winner, and the player of the tournament. Get involved with the question in that one. I want to see lots of comments. I want to see everyone's thoughts and opinions. But that's pretty much me done. I'm going to wish everyone luck in their struggles in picking their teams. It's going to be a very difficult one. It took me a while to pick a lot of teams, and to be honest, this is, well, maybe not Bouanga, but this is sort of probably a very solid actually looking team. I might actually look to put more of these players in. But yeah, appreciate everyone for listening so long. Appreciate everyone for listening to the videos and things all week. I've had absolute tons of views and interaction and things like that, and I've absolutely appreciate everything and everyone for watching and for interacting. Don't forget to comment those 4 question answers. Again, congratulations to the winners of the free tickets for the Club World Championship. Just a quick reminder, those winners were Mika Latti, Barney Fantasy, and Ambambulis. So those 3 people, head into my messages here with your FanTeam user ID so I can get those tickets sent over ASAP. And that's me done. So I'm going to wish everyone luck. I'm going to wish everyone well, and I'll be back next week for a little bit of an updated FanTeam and a little bit of progress and who to sub in and sub out for your teams for game week 2. So I'm going to catch you later.